Trump is being Trump, and really, my main fear today is for workers in Quebec and working class families. We are in the midst of a historic housing crisis, in the midst of a historic cost of living crisis. We cannot afford to lose good jobs in Quebec. Those families cannot afford to lose a salary. They're already struggling to get by. So on a short-term basis, the priority should be to protect jobs for Quebecers, and that's where the focus should be put, starting from now. On the longer term, I think we have to ask ourselves the question about the model of economic development we have chosen in Quebec since the 90s. There is a whole generation of politicians that have promised us that free trade would be an El Dorado, would have only benefits for Quebec economy. Post-pandemic and post one and now two mandate of Trump, I think we have to ask ourselves tough question. That utopia of free trade as an era where there would be only good things, does that promise have realized itself? I think we have to ask ourselves that question. I think we need to have a reflection on the building in Quebec of a more resilient economy that is less fragile and less vulnerable towards a neighbor that is more and more erratic.
But are you saying that we depend too much on the U.S.
I think our economy is too vulnerable, it's too fragile to the decisions of the U.S. The world has changed. The world has changed since the 80s and the 90s. The world has changed. This generation of politicians that promised us the promised land, we need to think again about that promise. Is that promise realized today?